No, this is exciting, man. I'm really just excited to be able to be here today. I think you guys it's important. This project is a legacy project for me. I don't think I've done anything that directly affected as many people as this project will here in Shreveport. And I'm just excited to get to it.
You know how we always love to dig into these stories where things are changing and moving in ways you might not expect?
Yeah, definitely always keeping an eye out for those shifts that kind of hint at a bigger picture.
Exactly. Yeah. And, well, we've got a pretty interesting one today. 50 Cent is making some serious moves in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. This is way more than just about his film and TV studio there.
Right. This is a whole other level. He just secured a massive long-term lease on the Stageworks building, and the plans they've got are, well, they're pretty fascinating.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? Like setting up a production studio, that's one thing, but taking on a huge venue like Stageworks, that suggests a whole different level of investment and commitment to Shreveport.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't familiar with Shreveport and Stageworks, what are we actually talking about here?
So Stageworks is this big building, and the vision here is to transform it into a cutting-edge sports and entertainment complex. Think of a place that can host anything and everything, you know, basketball games, MMA fights, concerts, you name it.
Wow, so like even like huge car shows or big conventions, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
They're really going for a broad scope here.
That's a pretty ambitious plan. It sounds like they're not limiting themselves at all. They want to tap into all kinds of events.
Yeah, exactly. They're really thinking big.
Now, a deal like this, with a venue this size, it doesn't just appear overnight, right?
No, definitely not. It takes a lot of planning and negotiation.
So what can you tell us about this lease? It's a 30-year lease, right? That's a pretty big commitment.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And, you know, it's even more than that. The initial lease is for 3 decades, like you said, but they've also got an option to extend it for another 15 years after that.
Yeah.
So we could be talking about 45 years here.
Wow. I mean, you don't sign a lease like that unless you truly believe in the potential of the project in the city.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence there for sure.
All right, so speaking of confidence, what about the financial side of this deal? These agreements always fascinate me. What kind of arrangement did they work out?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. So according to the reports, 50 Cent's company, G-Unit Films and Television, is going to be paying just $200 a month in rent.
Wait a minute, did you say $200 a month?
Yep, $200.
For a building that's going to be this huge state-of-the-art venue, that doesn't seem right.
Right. It definitely raises eyebrows, but there's a trade-off here. So while the rent is incredibly low, 50 Cent's company is responsible for all the operating costs. All of them.
Ah, okay, so that makes more sense. We're talking about a massive space here hosting all these different events. The costs must be astronomical.
Exactly. Think about all the utilities, staff, security maintenance, all of that. We're probably talking hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if not more.
So that $200 a month suddenly seems a lot less significant when you factor in all those expenses.
Exactly. It's a long-term strategy. They're taking on all the risk and responsibility, but if they can make it work, the potential rewards are huge.
So it sounds like a calculated gamble. What do you think is driving this from 50 Cent's side? It feels like there's more to it than just another business deal.
You know, that's a great point. It does feel like something else is going on here. And if you look at what 50 Cent himself has been saying, it does seem like there's a real personal connection to Shreveport. He's actually talked about how it feels like home to him now, and even hinted at making it a more permanent base, which would make sense considering the scale of this project.
It is interesting how often those personal connections end up driving major business decisions. It adds a whole other layer to the story. Now, was there anything in particular that sparked this whole Stageworks idea?
Actually, yes. 50 Cent mentioned a conversation he had with Councilman Alan Jackson after this big Humor and Harmony event they had in Shreveport. Apparently, Jackson just straight up asked him, "What's next?" And that seems to have been the push 50 Cent needed to go for it.
So a bit of a nudge from the local government, maybe?
It sounds like it. It speaks to a really proactive city council, too. They're clearly eager to see Shreveport grow and develop.
Well, it seems like 50 Cent is on the same page. What else has he said about his vision for this place?
He's emphasized that collaboration is key to making this work.
Yeah.
He specifically talked about working closely with tourism folks and other local groups to make sure the venue reaches its full potential. I think he really understands that it's not just about the building itself, it's about how it fits into the bigger picture of Shreveport's community and economy.
He gets it. A successful venue like that has a ripple effect, so it's a smart move to bring everyone on board.
Definitely. You want the whole city to benefit from this.
Didn't he also make a direct commitment to one of the council members? I remember that standing out.
Yeah, he did. He actually looked right at Councilman Jim Taliaferro during the meeting and promised to over-deliver to Shreveport. It was a powerful moment. He knows people are watching, and he's putting himself out there.
There's a sense of accountability there. He's not taking this lightly at all.
Not at all. And he also pointed to a recent example of what Shreveport can achieve. He brought up the Humor and Harmony event, which sold out completely. He was basically saying, look, this city can handle big events, we can draw huge crowds. This is proof that Stageworks can be a success.
Very smart move. You leveraged that recent win to get people excited about the future.
Exactly. And he also made a point of addressing the whole issue of keeping this venue active throughout the year. No one wants to see a multi-million-dollar facility sitting empty for months at a time.
Absolutely. So what's the plan there? How are they going to ensure consistent use?
Well, 50 Cent was very clear that he's got programs and plans in place to make sure the venue is busy all year round and with a variety of events. He wasn't specific about the details, but the fact that he's emphasizing this so much suggests a pretty well thought out strategy.
That makes sense. It'll be exciting to see what they come up with. Now, I know we can't have a conversation about 50 Cent without checking in on his social media. What's he been saying online about all of this?
As you might expect, he's been pretty active on Instagram celebrating the news. He shared a bunch of different headlines about the Stageworks deal.
And what about the caption? Did he go for something classic, 50 Cent?
Oh, he did. He kept it short and sweet, but with a trademark confidence. It just said, all roads lead to Shreveport. Stop hating it's showtime.
Love it. You gotta love the swagger. So, taking a step back from all the details here, what does this expansion really mean for Shreveport and for 50 Cent's overall business strategy?
For Shreveport, this could be a major turning point. A venue like this could really put them on the map as an entertainment destination. Think about all the potential benefits: increased tourism, new jobs, a boost to local businesses, and a vibrant hub for the community. It could really revitalize the city.
It's a pretty exciting prospect for Shreveport. What about from 50 Cent's perspective? How does this fit into his overall empire?
This is a really significant move for him. It shows that he's not content with just music and television and film. He's diversifying into a whole new area. Owning and managing a venue like this is a big undertaking.
Especially with that low-rent, high-responsibility model. It's a gamble, but if it pays off, the rewards could be huge.
Yeah, it's a high-risk, high-reward situation for sure. He's basically betting on his ability to bring in the crowds and create a buzz around Shreveport. And if he can do that, he could potentially make a lot of money.
All right, so as we wrap up our deep dive into 50 Cent's Shreveport expansion, what's the big takeaway here? What should our listeners be thinking about?
I think this whole story really highlights how the landscape of entertainment is evolving and how cities are adapting to attract investment and create new opportunities. Here you have a major cultural figure choosing to invest heavily in a city that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a major entertainment hub. It makes you wonder what other mid-sized cities could learn from this. What does it take to become a destination? And what role can individuals like 50 Cent play in transforming a city? It's a fascinating case study.
It really is, and it'll be interesting to watch how this all unfolds in the coming years. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure. Always happy to dive into these stories with you.
Until next time.
Yeah.